So here we are, folks. We are looking at practice question number 13 on the Unit 3 exam. It says here, which statement below describes the difference between this, f of x equals the square root of the quantity negative 3x, plus 1, notice the plus 1 is on the outside, and its parent function. What it's basically asking me to do, or it's asking us to do here, is compare this to its parent function, and its parent function is just the square root of x. So what's the difference between this and the square root? We basically want to describe the shift, the reflection, and any compressions or stretches. Okay, this is what we want to do here. So to do this, we're first going to walk through this here. We're first going to look at shifts. Are there any shifts in this graph? So if we remember, a shift is when something is being added or subtracted here. And in this case, if we read it over here, f of x equals the square root of negative 3 times x here plus 1. Notice I said plus 1, which means there's a shift. It's on the outside. So this means here, I'm just going to write this at the bottom. So the shift here is up 1 unit. Okay? So we know we have a shift of 1 unit up. The next thing I'm going to check is reflection. If you remember, reflection is when you have a negative times, right? So what does that look like? So when you have a negative times, if we look at our function here, it says f of x equals the square root of negative 3 times x plus 1. And you have a negative here, and it's a negative being multiplied, so it's definitely is a negative, and it is on the inside. Inside is going to be reflected over the y-axis, so it is reflected over the y-axis here. Okay? And then lastly here, we want to check about the times 3. The times 3, okay? So this over here, this 3, it's being multiplied here, and that correlates to our compression or stretches, which is when something's being multiplied, and it's on the inside, okay? If it's on the inside, it's horizontal, okay? Inside is horizontal, so it's going to be a horizontal something, right? By something. So now we need to figure it out. So the number is 3, but if you remember the rule, if it's inside, it's going to be the reciprocal, right? Inside is also going to be horizontal. You're going to need to do the reciprocal of the function, the coefficient or the number. So in this case, the number is 3. The reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So it's a horizontal blank by 1/3. And in this case, because it's 1/3, 1/3 is a fraction, which means it is a compression. And we just need to pick the answer choice that has all of these here. We're going to go through it. A says reflected over the x-axis. That's clearly wrong because it's y. B says reflected over the x. That's wrong because it is reflected over the y. C says reflected over the y. That's correct. Shifted 1 to the left. That is incorrect. It is shifted up 1. D, reflected over the y-axis and shifted 1 to the right. So this is correct, but shifted 1 to the right is clearly wrong. So the answer clearly is E, because none of the other descriptions fit exactly all of these descriptions for this function compared to its parent function. So the answer is E.